What's going on, guys, and welcome to the Diamond Standard YouTube channel at The Collector. We're going to be headed into day number 19. That's going to be game number 1, rank Solar Gold, and the match time is 1 minute and 57 seconds. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you think you've got something to say. First match is going to be against a nature deck. We're gonna open up with a decent hand with the Petulant Imp and the Fickle Cambion. He's coming out with an interesting open, looking like potentially an Amazon deck. We get the Fickle Cambion to be a 4/4 on turn 2. Always a great opening. He plays Selena's Mark. It does not hit, and he surrenders. Headed into game number 2 with 1 win and 0 losses. Gonna have a rank of Solar Gold, and this match is 9 minutes and 15 seconds against a War deck. A rather long matchup against a War deck. I am gonna just hit him with the 1 and then pip up to a Blight Bomb and pass it back. It takes him a moment to decide that he is going to just use his god power on me, and I get the Necroceptor out there. He has a second Tavern Brawler. I ping him for 1 and then play my Wicked Fae, trying to get some board presence. Of course, this gives him an opportunity to come on back and get some damage out there and get a 3/3 that pumps everything up. I'm hoping that he won't be able to get ahead of the Fickle Cambion, but we just can't be sure. I can always Ragnarok, which will help me out quite a bit. He almost misses his whole turn, and then he summons quite the front line. I'm having to think about clearing his whole board or how exactly I want to go about this. I decide to just try to clear as much as I can with what I had out there. He ends up killing my Fickle Cambion, and I know at this point I might as well Ragnarok. With 2 Nether Swarm Lords out there, I will be able to basically pump them both up and draw cards. It's usually a pretty strong move. I pinged him and played the Nether Swarm Lord. He Bronze Servant and gets rid of my scepter. What he doesn't know is I have another one in my hand. He plays the fur without empowering it, and I decide to just come on out with the Arch of Amenmos. And it turns out he has the damage to end it. Well, not what I was expecting. Headed into game 3 with 1 win and 1 loss, rank of Solar Gold. And this match would be 17 minutes and 23 seconds against a death deck. That is a forever match. Many people would find it not worth their time to play. But in the battle to have the highest average god earnings possible, sometimes you have to battle it out. He pulls out a Necroceptor, and that's when I anticipate it will be a long match because he is probably playing some form of zombie control. Then we see an Anubian and we get a little bit confused. And then he drops another Anubian that brings his other Anubian back. A very interesting play. I decide to just be as big as possible. And then I change my mind and Ragnarok first before I get as wide as possible. My goal is to try to get that Nightleaf Stalker before he does. First one to take out the other's Necroceptor will be in control. He ends up clearing a decent part of my board and doing a crazy combo where he stays with a lot of power out there. And this is essentially where he hit his combo on me, and I didn't quite realize what was going on. I play into it for quite some time at this point. The bringing something back from the void with Deadly is just quite insane. And he ends up getting the Nightleaf Trapper and getting rid of my Scepter. I should have known at this point that it was going to be a pretty rough matchup for me. But I am knuckle-headed and hoped for something maybe like a Ragnarok to clear it. I have a very wide board, but he's going to be able to pull back something with a Deadly and then clear my hardest hitter. And then he takes down that and summons a double. Two creatures with Deadly per turn is going to be crazy hard to deal with. I maybe should have pinged things, but I decided maybe just trying to take him out and not letting him heal was going to be the best move I could take. Trying to pull off a thick corpse explosion. Of course, he uses all of those abilities to his advantage and causes me quite the bit of heartache. This is a rather annoying combo to be against, and the match lasts a lifetime. To say that it is bringing me agony to be in this matchup would be an understatement. And then him just letting it run out as long as he can is annoying. He over the line to get some damage down on me. It makes me wonder what his end play is going to be. I'm trying to do all the math that I can to figure out if I can get ahead, because I know he will just pull out another creature with Deadly, and it will not really help me. I pulled some of the heal from the Sanctum. Of course, the Endless Deadly is kind of wild. Unique combo. It would be more fair if they gave Soulless to the creatures it was bringing back to the Void. But that's a conversation for a different day. Maybe if I had some effective board clear, I wouldn't be in this situation. Get some zombie spawn out there that he can't just swing on ASAP. And then he over the line and ends it anyway. So I lose after quite a match. Headed into game 4 with 1 win and 2 losses, rank of Solar Gold, and a match time of 4 minutes and 53 seconds against a war deck. He already has the bounty card back, which is pretty cool. Not a huge percentage pulling that, but it is still fairly affordable as far as a card back goes, so that's nice. Playing with a couple of trinkets from the Argus Shield. He's had a strong open. He's got the Devouring Blade, pinging my creatures down, hitting me with a little bit of that overkill. At this point, I am just trying to hit him for as much damage as possible. The Carnage Sweep, a very strong play on his part. Fickle Cambion and a Vampiric Skull. We've both just had a wild open. I'm currently in the lead. Having to make some big decisions here. He ends up being able to clear the Vampiric Skull, but not able to kill me. And then I pass it over, and he will end it that turn. Headed into game number 5 with 1 win and 3 losses, a rank of Solar Gold. Match time of 5 minutes and 37 seconds against a death deck. Taking an interesting god power there with the drawing a card to take some damage. a solid open whenever we pull the obelisk. Taking his time, so I throw him a little bit of a fire emoji, saying, "Bring it on." When I see the card draw, I think, well, I can play with that to my advantage and get my board as wide as possible, as quick as possible. He slaps a rock down, and that doesn't intimidate me at all. Still wanting to keep my hand as clear as possible so I don't get milled like this type of deck can do. Rock Drake. So he's trying to pull off a combo where he gets a 6-5 out there without too much trouble. And I let him figure that out while I put the Nether Swarm Lord out there and swell my side up. He does hit his combo with the Rock Drake, but it is a day late and $1 short. As I have the win solution that I pull into with the Corpse Explosion and end it. Headed into Game 6 with 2 wins and 3 losses. I will be ranked Solar Gold against a Death deck. Going to be a decent matchup here. I reckon he will have some control likely. He has the same board as me, which is always fun to see. Curse of Greed, my voracious fiend. I go ahead and decide to drop the obelisk because I don't think he would have back-to-back Curse of Greed. And in fact, he doesn't. So I just start running it down as fast as possible. He pings down my Petulant Imp, leaving me in not too bad a shape. And I just keep clearing his board, hoping to stay in the lead. It was interesting. He got rid of my Petulant Imp instead of my Obelisk, and I get rid of his Blade of the White Plane because he has no need to have card draw if I don't have to allow it. He's got the Chaos card back, which is also kind of cool. He just keeps clearing the creatures that he can, and I just keep trying to clear his board. At this point, I may have been making a mistake because it may have been the right call to just try to run it down as fast as possible. The purple Necroceptor, bringing the shadow cards. Seeing some action here, but he is not going to make it easy. And he pulls out Hortuck, the Fallen Commander. I try to use the Sanctum to my advantage, but still not really getting much ground against him. He pulls out the Necroceptor Destroy, and that leaves me in an even worse shape as I had been previously racing for the Nightleaf Trapper. I do get rid of his Necroceptor, but it is likely a day late and $1 short. He pulls out the next Necroceptor, and I know I have met my challenge at this point. He passes it back to me, and I try to do what I can to get some presence on the board by dropping a Decaying Rhino and an Obelisk at the same time. He totally clears the Rhino and fries my Obelisk. At this point, I don't have much choice. I clear his board, get my Nether Swarm Lord out there, trying to just have presence, and he drops the Ember Oni. In the name of time, I surrendered, headed into Game 7 with 2 wins and 4 losses, with a rank of Auric Gold, matched with Auric Gold now because I got demoted. The surrender may have cost me, but I also knew that sadly I was going to run out of time on this day if I did not hurry up. Facing a light deck with Lysander's debuff, always an interesting matchup. I decide to just get out there as wide and as fast as possible. Not seeing a lot of action from his early game, but I know that they do come out quick and wide. I get the fickle Cambion pumped up with the petulant imp on turn 3, which is always nice. Decaying Rhino, and I think I stand a pretty good chance at this point. He debuffs me again, and I do in fact have it. So I ended, headed into game 8 with 3 wins and 4 losses, rank Auric Gold. The match time on this one is 4 minutes and 54 seconds against a nature deck. A decent opening with the Skeletal Hoplite Wicked Fae and a Necroceptor. The Boar classic. I end up getting the Necroceptor out there. He clears my zombie. I decide to get rid of the Boar and pip up to a Voracious Fiend. He clears as much as he can, but I am still allowed the opportunity to get a Decaying Rhino out there. He kills both my zombies, but he gets no little buffs. I get a Nether Swarm Lord out there with my Decaying Rhino, and that is always a strong combination. He is taking his time and clears a little bit of my board, but I get the Arch of Amenmos out there. That Burning Talisman is somewhat of a pain, but I could still potentially pull it out. He does the hunt, but it's not enough. And there I hit him, and then Corpse Explosion. And unfortunately, I did not get to play game 9 and 10 because I started playing too late. So my overall results are 4 wins and 4 losses. My gods earned are 8.282, and my end rank is Auric Gold. Unfortunately, I got demoted today, but that doesn't spell out what's to come. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the future here at the Diamond Standard.